being here. Bailey, thank you for getting up and talking to us. That takes a lot of nerve, but also a lot of commitment to be willing to do that. And I didn't realize that we didn't do scoliosis checks, because when I was in school we did do scoliosis checks. I don't know why that has stopped, but hopefully with people like you bringing these things to our attention, we don't always know what happens in all the schools. So hopefully we can figure out how to get that going again. Thank you. Mr. Umstead, thank you for your words. I'm sorry to hear that we have teachers that are going to be resigning. We try to do the best balancing act to help our students, our staff, and also our taxpayers as school board members. So if we could give you all the raises that you deserve, we would do it in a heartbeat. We will do our best to make sure you get a fair shake. I guess other than that, I'm glad everyone's here. I'll pass it on to Mr. Persiger.
Well, I too would like to thank everyone for coming out tonight, and thank Mr. Umstead for his comments. And I'd like to address Bailey and thank her for informing us that the scoliosis screenings are not taking place, even though I think we have a copy at our desk tonight of the student handbook that states that it should be taking place, I think, in grades 5 through 10. So that's something that, I would just ask the superintendent to look at and report back to the board maybe on. Again, I'd like to thank everyone for coming out and supporting your school system.
Mr. Lane?
Mr. Umstead, thank you for your comments. We will definitely take what you've said into consideration. And Ms. Peters, thank you for coming and talking to us about this. And we'll definitely consider what you've asked us to consider. And thank the group for coming. This is going to be a budget discussion tonight, so hopefully you'll learn something new. And if you have any input, please make sure that you give us the input, because that's coming up soon. We'll have to make some decisions.
Danielle?
Yes, Mr. Umstead, I also like to thank you for coming and addressing the board tonight. We appreciate your dedication in doing that and taking the time and sharing your concerns, because we take those seriously. So thank you for doing that. Bailey, what courage you showed tonight, and I'd like to commend you for that. You shared personal information and made it real for each board member what you went through. And even if you can affect one student and make a difference, that's a big deal. So thank you for doing that tonight. I also want to thank the members of the board that served on the budget committee that we're going to go over tonight. We've had one meeting. It took a lot of work and time and attention to detail, so thank you both for working on that, and thank you for everybody who came out tonight.
Jennifer?
Okay. Mr. Umstead, thank you for your speech to the board tonight. It really saddens me to hear that some of our teachers are going to resign or retire. I think highly of a lot of the teachers in this school system, and I hope we can make things better for them in the future, and we will work as a board to hear their needs and also work with you as their rep also. And also the responsive classroom, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's a wonderful program, and I've been very impressed with what we've done with that in our school system. And we look forward to the other teachers being trained. I know there's a couple schools that are still left to be trained in that program. Also, Bailey, thank you for coming out tonight. It took a lot of courage to stand up in front of us and say what you had to say about the scoliosis screening. I hope we can implement that again into our school system. I think it's very important that we do that screening as well. So thank you for your courage for coming out tonight. If you attended our December 18th board meeting, you may remember that we adopted our 2017-2018 legislative priorities. You can look this document up on our website under board agendas. If you take a look at these priorities, they include that the state raise our teacher salaries to or above the national average. That's something I'm very passionate about, something that will help us retain our teachers here in Alleghany County and also help with our recruiting efforts statewide. Also, another legislative priority is to consider revising the approved program regulations to allow education-based majors in teaching and education through the development of a 4-year undergraduate major in teaching. As I said before, we are facing a teacher shortage in the Commonwealth, and this legislation, along with raising our teacher salaries to the national average, would help attract more college students into the field of teaching. So I think it's very important that we have that as one of our legislative priorities. So I look forward to the budget process, but we are facing some budget shortfalls. So just bear with us, and hopefully we'll get through it, and look forward to any comments or any suggestions that you may have with the budget. So thanks for coming out tonight. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Too, would like to thank y'all for coming out tonight. It shows the interest in our school systems. And I'd also like Mr. Bob to give us some specifics. You know, you said that we're losing teachers, that they're overwhelmed, and it's not all about pay. I'd like to maybe have some specifics. What is specifically the problem or the issue that that they would want to resign or want to leave for. And the other thing is that Bailey, thank you. You did such a good job. You was brave enough to come up here in front of all these people and speak about something that was close to your heart. And I'm glad it was you, not me, because I'd have never pronounced them words. Never. But thank you so much. And just anytime you ever have a problem or concern about anything, that's what we're here for. Thank you.
Okay, well, Ben, I'm glad you finally decided we could have school again this month. It took me a while. I didn't think we were ever going to go in January. I thought it'd be February. But we're back in school again. It's good to hear from Mr. Umstead. And of course, he has with him tonight the new VEA rep, and that is Chris. Is it Isaac?
Idzik, but very close.
And
Thank
it's
you.
good to meet you.
Nice to be here.
So we have a lot of people here tonight to see a few new faces, and we thank all of you for coming. It's very enjoyable to have you here. Excuse me. And Bailey, yes, as every board member said, it's wonderful that you get up here and speak to us on such a topic that it may only affect 1 in 1,000 kids. I don't know what the number is, but you took time to do that, and that's important as a leader in this school that you would do that. So I sort of appreciate that. I was moved very much by you taking your time to come and talk to us about this one thing. It is important. We'll make sure we can address it. Other than that, it is budget time. Y'all know it's going to be pretty painful here for the next couple of years, but we're working through it right now. We don't have all the final numbers, but we're still trying to stay on track with everything we tried to agree to do. And we're going to push for that as hard as we can possibly do it. And I think we will be successful in several of the areas that we are trying to maintain. So that'll be a positive for us. Also tonight, we have Gene's mentor here. What was your name?
Keith Ballard.
Keith Ballard. I guess he's going to decide if you make it or not in your class. So come to address the board, that can be good or bad. So it's good to have some new faces here tonight to talk to us. It's always wonderful to meet these people. We thank all of our administrators, our teachers, the Fab 4 or 3 or whatever it's going to be now, I don't know, still down there. They do bring a lot of value to the board to hear from them. And a few others that are supporting the board. It's wonderful to see you all here. Gene?
Too, I appreciate everybody coming tonight. I do want to say, yesterday I did go down to the General Assembly to meet with our rural coalition that is partnering with some of the urban coalition to add an amendment to the budget which would provide additional at-risk funding for our students, and so we could see some significant in there. But the good part about the at-risk funding is it cuts across every division in the Commonwealth of Virginia, and so it should be pretty acceptable now. That remains to be seen. I do monitor the bills on a daily basis. I was excited about House Bill 808, which speaks about looking at parts of the SOLs and helping us with students, particularly at the high school level, with the ability to graduate. So send some information out later today, and Mr. Umstead, I'll send it to you as well, about getting support from our our assemblymen. Our people are fine, but we want to reach out beyond us as well, so excited about that. Bailey, I appreciate you coming tonight. We are making that on close to what we're doing, and make sure that we're within the guidelines that's set by the state and some other regulations, but we'll reach out to do that. I appreciate you coming forward and also letting us know ahead of time. I would just want to correct one thing Mr. Olmsted said, if it's okay with you, and I think he meant to say retirements and not resignations, okay?
I can live with that.
Yeah, you are with that? All right, okay. And so we do have some people talk to us about retiring this year, and we certainly like to keep experienced teachers in the classroom. Mr. Olmsted and I talk on a regular basis, and we're going to do what we can to do what's best for teachers and provide them what they need. I've said that since I've been here. We've had a raise every year since I've been here. Not a huge raise, but a raise, and hopefully as the economy turns around, we're in the early process of the budget process. We have the governor's budget, but we still have to wait for the House and Senate, and then we can go from there. So I do want to thank everybody, and it's great to see a great turnout, so thank you.
Here's one thing I didn't mention that I think is important. I don't know if it started at Callahan or Sharon. I think it's Callahan. Have y'all heard of flexible seating? I saw it the first time at Sharon. I think it's a neat thing. We can all find furniture to donate to these schools, and it's pretty neat to see that they don't have traditional desks like we have. A lot of people seem to enjoy it. The kids seem to enjoy it. I've seen it at Sharon. I think it's in Callahan. Is that where it started at?
Miss Fix started.
I don't know where it started.
Yes.
I have it in my room.
Oh, Miss Fix
It was
started.
Miss Fix started it.
And the kids seem to really enjoy it, and I just thought that was pretty neat. So something for us to think about. Anything that we can make learning better for a student, whatever it takes, I think we should do. So those are positive things. I just wanted to mention that before we forgot about tonight. One thing I kept trying to think of, I forgot something, and it came to me after I was done. So anyway, it's something for us to think about and look forward to in the future is how do we make school more conducive to learning for the children. And if it takes going away at the desk, well, that's a good thing. But I'll leave that decision to y'all.